Hey all, tis I, and welcome back to The Artist's Way, and welcome to week 9. This chapter was much shorter than last week's chapter, but I feel like it was the perfect addition to last week's chapter, so let's jump straight into it. Now, Cameron talks about fear in damn near every single chapter of this book, but she reintroduces it in this chapter as the real name of what artists call laziness. Blocked artists are not lazy, they are blocked. Being blocked and being lazy are two different things. The blocked artist does not know how to begin with baby steps. Instead, the blocked artist thinks in terms of great, big, scary, impossible tasks. Personally, every time that I create, for some reason, I feel like I need to conquer the world. I need to make something completely new, original, fresh, never been done before, otherwise, what's the point? This connects back to the last chapter in terms of skipping over the smaller steps in favor of the big ones, sort of not realizing that baby steps are still steps forward. When these large tasks are not accomplished or even begun, the block artist calls that laziness. Do not call the ability to start laziness, call it fear. Ding ding ding, once again Cameron hits the nail on the head. She also goes back to a concept that she introduced a while ago, being scared of both failure and success, and she integrates it perfectly in this chapter as well. Finding it hard to begin a project does not mean you will not be able to do it. Setting impossible goals creates enormous fear, which creates procrastination, which we wrongfully call laziness. This line just made me pause. How often do we beat ourselves up for not doing enough, for not making a masterpiece the first time we try? We say we're unmotivated, unproductive, lazy, but what if we're just scared? Scared of not doing enough, scared of not being enough, scared of not doing good enough, of wasting time, of confirming our deepest doubts that maybe we're not meant to do this, that maybe we peaked already, that maybe no one will care, when in reality, we don't know until we just start. And instead of acknowledging that gently, we punish ourselves. That's why this next line hit me just as hard. Stop yelling at yourself. Be nice. When's the last time you were nice to yourself when you didn't finish something? When you gave yourself grace instead of feeling guilty? Because truthfully, that kindness that we give ourselves is what gives us the strength to keep going. The next section in this chapter really stood out to me, and it's called Creative U-Turns, or I interpret it as starting over. We're more comfortable being a victim of artist block than risking having to constantly be productive and healthy. Now this quote cocked me real bad. It is much easier to complain than to commit. To talk about what you would do if you weren't blocked rather than actually doing it, instead of doing the hard thing and trying again. Because if you're stuck, you don't have anything to prove yet. But unsticking yourself means facing your work and inevitably facing yourself. It means effort and it means vulnerability. It's a way to protect ourselves. To say, it's not that I can't, it's because I'm just stuck. Typically, when we take a creative U-turn, we are doubly shamed. Shamed for having tried in the first place, and then shamed for turning back. A successful creative career is always built on successful creative failures. The trick is to survive them. And that is the key to everything. We think success is a straight path, but most of the time it's detours, crashes, reroutes. And those U-turns, they're not the end. They're part of the process. Starting over can feel like admitting that you messed up, like you wasted your time, like you're behind. But really, it's kind of a sort of bravery. It's not choosing to give up, even if you're going in a different direction than before. It's saying, I'm still here and I still want this. And yeah, it's scary and it might be embarrassing sometimes, but it also means that you're growing. Have compassion. Creative U-turns are always born from fear. Fear of success or fear of failure. I love that Cameron keeps bringing it back to compassion, especially for yourself. We can't always keep creating from a place of self-punishment. Fear will always show up. That's just part of the deal, especially being a creative. But we don't have to let it steer the wheel either. Instead, we meet it, we name it, and we take the baby steps anyway. Now let's talk about my morning pages. I do them. Kind of. Like I mentioned in my last video, I don't do 3 pages every single day anymore. I do at least 1 page bare minimum. I try to do 3 pages, but most of the time I'm just too tired, too burnt out, or just don't have enough time, especially after work. Since returning to work, I've also started using my morning pages not just for creative stuff, but really work through all of my emotions, especially with kids fucking with me all day. When you're working with kids, uncovering how you feel and understanding that, especially Even if it's something as silly as a kid made you feel really shitty that day, it's important so that you don't take that animosity to work with you. Sure, maybe you're not telling your coworkers everything, but even just talking to yourself about it can really help lift that weight off of your shoulders and start the new day feeling fresh and ready to conquer it. My artist day for this week was finally working on my movie ticket journal. Since the start of the year, I have been collecting every single ticket I get from when I go to the movies. Unfortunately, I didn't get one for Superman, but I guess that means I have to go see it again. How unfortunate. And I wanted a way to store all of my tickets because I currently just had them sitting in a folder, and that didn't really feel good or creative. They're kind of just fading away in there, and scrapbooking with them seemed like the best alternative. Now I still want to add more to the pages, like more colors, stickers and stuff, but at the moment I'm just really happy with the foundation. I have the tickets, obviously, the date I saw the movie, and like my star rating review of it. For some of them, I have my favorite quotes or my favorite moments from the movie. At the end of the year, I do plan on going through this book more in depth and talking about every movie that I saw in theaters in 2025. So make sure you're subscribed so you can be on the lookout for that. In conclusion, I really needed to read this chapter right now. Since going back to a job, I have definitely been beating myself up over the fact that I haven't been creating as much as I used to, or I want to, or how much I think I should be. I'm trying to give myself grace because the truth of the matter is I am tired, and that's okay. I work with kids 8 hours every single day, so yeah, I'm gonna be a little tired after work, and I don't really want to do anything after work. I just have to figure out workarounds that obviously work for me, which I'm trying to do, and that'll take time. And that doesn't make me any less creative or good at what I do as I was before. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure you like, subscribe. Tell me if you know how many movies you've seen in theaters this year. I would love to know. Okay, I love you so much. Smooches. Bye.